Curse Hollow, map number 1. We are still in the first qualifier for the Masters Clash 2022. Again, the main event is held in Paris. It's an offline event, and in total there is 12,000 euros of prize money in this tournament. And this is the first qualifier. And as I explained, on day number 1 of the qualifier, we have a group stage, so we have 2 groups, and they play a round-robin system with best of 2s. So if you have a 2-0 victory against your opponent, you get 3 points. If it's a tie, a 1-1, you get 1 point each. And if you lose, you get nothing. So the Hardos, they're obviously top dog in this group, as already explained. And yeah, in this case, they are now going up against the Cats, and we'll see if they can lock in another 2-0 victory, or if it's going to be a little bit trickier for them. Like, best of 2s are always a little bit weird. Like, first of all, I think the entire term best of 2 is a bit misleading, because it's not technically a best of anything. You're just playing 2 maps against each other. But it is interesting for a couple of reasons. And one of them is that you can't just simply go for the team approach, where you dominate a team on map number 1, then you don't give a shit about map number 2, troll around and don't take the game too serious, might lose it, but then can just focus on playing on game 3, like with no normal setup again. And all of a sudden ruffle stomp your opponent there. So every single map counts in this system. And that's kind of cool. It has obviously a couple of disadvantages as well, but at least that is nice. Because even a top team can lose one map against a team that just on a certain map comes in with a good plan, or coordinates a crucial team fight a little bit better and gets a victory here. So you can never really let up. You always have to really be on point if you are the team that wants to win. And there is the risk for even a big team that they're losing a map against a weaker opponent because they just didn't pay attention at some point or slipped up and made a mistake. So it adds an interesting twist to it. Either way, the Hardos come into this as the favorite. Now, of course, the Cats, they've played a lot. They are good. They've taken maps of some of the best teams in Heroes of the Storm. So the Hardos are not going to take this one too lightly. But technically, they should be the one that call the shots here. They have Sylvanas as an opening. Blaze gets banned. And they decided for Cursed Hollow, which is always interesting, because if you have there has to be a Vikings ban. I mean, even if they don't want to play Vikings, the Sylvanas and Rega pick alone is already something where it's just like, alright, let's ban the Vikings. Because what do you want with the Vikings? You want to have a strong 4-man, and the Vikings soak the lanes. Now, what does a strong 4-man include? Lane pressure. You want something that can pressure lanes that you can take structures down with. And Sylvanas is fantastic for that. Now that they play Falstead and Dehaka, you already have them with 2 globals right off the bat, so that's good for the Cats too. They have a bit more control over all of this. Personally, I wonder if Tyrael is also going to get addressed at some point by one of the teams. But even with the globals, they go for Zeratul instead. Now I really want to see if Hazu switches his Sylvanas over to someone else, and if instead we're going to get the Vikings for them. That would be interesting. Because then you could now really just try and use a strong 4-man with Sylvanas, push the lanes down a little bit, and use that. So they got Diablo, and they have Yrel. Yeah, well, would they still go for it? I mean, probably not. Okay, so we'll see. But at this point, I guess we're going to get more of a normal setup for them. Yrel and Diablo is already just such an annoying frontline to deal with. It's kind of crazy. Super tanky. Super hard to kill, too. Drakir and Johan, they're the last ones. By the way, that was one of the first bans as well. They got rid of Garrosh immediately. There's Muradin. And there's Tychus. Okay, so Diablo is already going to get attacked, probably with the bigger they are. And we get Muradin to jump around, get a Stormbolt, Dehaka to follow up on that. And here's a bit of a moment of truth. What's Rutsu going to take? We already have Nick taking Rega, so they're obviously going to swap things around, and there's the Tracer pick now for him. Okay, so Rutsu is subbing in here for Yasuo. Yasuo is on a long vacation. More than a month or so that he's gone, so that's where Rutsu is playing with them. Well, and that gets us to Cursed Hollow. So game number 1 in the series here, the Hardos against the 3-legged cat.
Prepare yourself for battle, hero.
Game number 1, the Cats against the Hardos. And on the left side, Drakir. On Tychus, Johan. With Muradin, we got Iris on Falstad, Captain Rex on Lucio, and Meneldor on Dehaka. Hazops, he's playing Sylvanas for the Hardos. Bad Benny on Diablo, Copenhagen on Yrel, And we got Nick on Tracer and Rotsu on Rhaegar. Okay. Time to get the show on the road and see what the Hardos can do here. They're the top dogs in the group. Already talked about it earlier, but initially the Chili Donuts were supposed to play in the group as well. But they could not find a sub-player, because as it turned out, Rutsu was signed up for 2 teams, and apparently the Donuts didn't realize that he was going to play with the Hardos, subbing in for Yasu for this tournament. And therefore, they didn't have enough players. They couldn't find a last-minute replacement and had to bow out of the first qualifier. I'm really sure that we're going to see the Donuts in the second qualifier, but that was obviously a bit of an awkward moment, and that means that the Hardos don't have to deal with the Donuts in this group and instead can just simply, you know, play this out without having to face that competition. So there's that. But yeah, up at the top, we already have Copenhagen and Johan doing their thing. We seems like, at least for now, Muradin is side-laning it a little bit and is trying to be a hero here. But Muradin's wave clear is a little bit not optimal. So yeah, there's that. But as you can tell, camps are now up on the map. The 1-minute mark has passed, so immediately we're having both of the teams trying to make their plays there. We get some action going. There's a bit of a fight at the top also against Johan. So far that hasn't really done anything, but with Hazops joining the battle, it's a bit interesting, because now they have maybe an opportunity to take some of the towers down a notch. And this one is already down to 50% HP. And down at the bottom of the map, Heroes, okay. Like, the problem is that if Nick is really in a situation where he is just going to absolutely crush. Yeah, Nick is gonna be, he's gonna be going for false stat time and time again here. I mean, it's not the only one, but that's gonna be his prime target, and you can already tell that it's really tricky for him. The Siege Giants are still doing work, and Nick is just keeping false stat at bay and trying to make sure that the Siege Giants are alive for as long as possible down here. And it forces Lucio to come down here too. Now, he shouldn't really overstep things, because one good move, here he might die as well. But the fights at the top lane are also still continuing, so in this case it's Dehaka that gets attacked and has to pop his essence. We have the bigger they are now as the level 4 talent, as already expected. And yeah, down to the bottom of the map, the Siege Giants have now finally been taken down. So yeah. Same time, no single kill yet in the game. Level 4 talents are ready, and that gives us the Aegis of Light. Pulse generator as well. And of course, the push in the mid lane. With Sylvanas, everything is just really annoying. Every single camp that you can get, if Sylvanas is all of a sudden appearing on that lane and you don't have anybody to stop that, it's damage on your structures. If she's getting on the side lane, same thing. And just look how quickly we're seeing a Muradin drop here as Hazu is coming in and does some work there. Oh, by the way, like, I gotta say that I'm actually a little bit disappointed. Like, so many people have now been asked about my my dwarf launch theories, and nobody had a good answer. And I have forgotten the name, but there was a comment on YouTube that finally came up with another explanation of the dwarf launch. I mean, again, Muradin has dwarf launch, right? And my question was always, like, who launches the dwarf, right? I mean, somebody has to do that. So my personal theory is it's a pocket Aragon. Don't tell the elf. But he just launches Muradin whenever need be. Michael Udall thought it's Mother Earth. I have no idea how exactly that worked. And Tim had some silly theory too, which also made no sense to me. But we have a bit more of a... Ooh, what's it? 3 hit points! Yeah, he's gonna die. I mean, come on. Alright, 3 hit points, but he's gonna die. And yeah, they're still fighting for the tribute. So someone actually had the theory in my YouTube comments that it's actually a little bit more nasty than that. Muradin launches himself by just farting. So it's just simply him sitting there and he just like blows air out of his ass, and that's what's launched the dwarf. So yeah, it's actually insanely nasty. I mean, Muradin is already not looking like the greatest fella here, but honestly, if he just like sits there and in every single fight he just farts around, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that people are getting so aggressive at him and always focus the tank and try and take him down. If he just farts in your face all day long, you would be real angry as well and try to drop him where he stands. So yeah, that's actually an explanation, you know, that one I'll let slide. That's probably the best one outside of mine. So yeah. And with Blizzard, you know, coming in with their stupid fart jokes everywhere, with the talent names that they have, I mean, you just need to look at the talent names of especially Samuro. I mean, so many wind talents, passing wind and whatever. That can't be a coincidence. So I can totally believe that that's the lore behind Muradin's abilities. 100%. Yeah. Like, we have way too many of those. But again, maybe Muradin can jump a little bit farther once that he just, like, you know, gets a good chili con carne going or something. Maybe that's the secret behind his level 16 talent. Who knows? But either way, a bit of a side tangent there. I saw that pop up just the other day in my comments, and I thought, okay, that's actually a good one. Level 10 is there. We have 2 kills to 0, so it was actually thanks to Rhaegar getting dropped a little bit earlier and then the follow-up kill that we now have the cats a little bit ahead. And that comes back to what I talked about earlier, that you can't really underestimate them. Now we have Benny with level 10 just engaging hard with a really good APOC combo, and then Nick following up and trying to go in to take them down. So yeah. But yeah, with that, we now have also topside Copenhagen and Menaldor. They are still locked into their battle, but this is tribute number 1 claimed for the Hardos, so it's a exchange and tributes from both of the teams. And all the way up at the top, that's when we're having Copenhagen, Hazu, Rutsu going straight for the boss. And honestly, with the blue team not reacting in kind at the bottom of the map, there's actually a chance that they go even for a double boss play. They are apparently completely oblivious to what's going on there. They are just using time on their own camp, on their hard camp, their bruiser camp. And maybe they expect that this one is taken too by the Hardos, but they just went for the bigger play here. And that's a little bit of an issue now, because that just happens as the next tribute is coming up. Yeah, so that's the next one. But alright. Let's have a little bit of a look of how they're going to deal with this, because the problem is being made worse by Sylvanas now moving in too. So they have to give that tribute up. There is no way they're just going to let the boss wail away at the fort, right? Johan, can he get that? That would have been funny. Imagine him sneaking that in and Sylvanas being too late here. The Haga is the only one that defends the top. I honestly think they're going to get crushed here. They have a double global, so they're playing macro, of course. But now Dracula is in trouble. Here comes the Haka. The top fort is gone. Great Wailing Arrow by Sylvanas. Real nice one. We can't get the kill on Tychus because of the gust that was just used. So that was a real nice move by Falstad as well to save the day for him. But that wasn't too bad. So the top lane gets damaged. We all of a sudden have another play here by Bad Benny. We have the tribute taken. And they are pulling ahead in experience. For the Hardos, that's pretty good. That's not too bad. Alright, so Menaldor is going for the kill in the back line. Sorry, Nick is going for the kill in the back line. He gets it, and they're following up with another one against the Haka potentially. But Menaldor pops the essence and is able to make his way out. And he gets a drag on Rhaegar. Nice! Isolation is here too. And there we go. 13 to 12. Slight lead now in talents. And another tribute up on the map, and this is one that the cats have to fight for. Yeah, they gotta fight for this one. Because that's gonna be the first curse if they fail to take it. Whereas for the Hardos, obviously, if they don't like the position they're in, then they can just simply say, alright, whatever, we're gonna wait for the next one. Boss at the bot lane has been scouted out real quickly, but nobody's going for that, nobody's taking that either. So yeah, easy move towards the top. And they're already getting in position here, so this is not looking too shabby for them. Here comes Odin, yeah, they gotta play with that. Odin comes in, they're going for Diablo. Gusting, trying to isolate him even further, but Bad Benny gets healed, and there's the Ancestral. Waited very, very long to drop that. But they're pushing them back, and that is not a good position for the blue team to be in. Benny applies more pressure by starting the channel, which forces, of course, Muradin to go a bit deeper and use the Stormbolt here for the interrupt. Urel with the ult. Here comes the APOC. Waited long for a beautiful APOC. Just in a choke point. Nearly getting a kill here on Menaldor. Johan is low as well. Falstad flies in, tries his best to somehow keep them at bay. Tribute still not taken. And the Hardos are also showing some respect. They have not... I mean, again, they haven't won this yet. And Muradin is soon going to be back. Most of the players on the blue team are by now fully topped back up with health and mana. And here comes the play for Falstad. Nick! Oh boy! Yeah, he gets out. We have a couple of the ults coming back, by the way. So there's Falstad again with the Mighty Gust that he can use here. And does so just before they're dying. All of them low again, but this time they're creating the space for Hazu to get the channel through. And that is a curse. Curse number 1 in the game is in. 2 kills to 2. And with that, we now have at the bot lane, at the top lane, they can go for even more forts. 2 of the forts are already gone, and they should be able to get the 3rd one at the bottom of the map. The Haka will have to eventually move back and help out in the middle, or they are likely taking damage on the keep, which he definitely doesn't want. He's going to take at least 1 camp here. But level 16, that's another problem that they're going to face. Level 16 is incredibly close. And once you have the talent advantage on top of everything else as well, you can of course try and go for the team fight and maybe even get a kill. Nice! The kill on Lucio. Benny with the engage, Veiling Arrow follow-up, and then the kill. Nick gets the Ancestral. They're looking for more kills. They should be able to at least get the keep here if this continues, by the way, especially now that they're going for the birdie. Falstad is down, and that's keep. The fort at the bot lane will be destroyed by the minions. And can they go for Drak here as well? No, but they might be able to get the kill on Maynaldor. Maynaldor is low. Benny is low as well, though, and he dies. He had the souls, but they won't be able to snowball this further towards the core. They got their keep. The bottom fort is likely going to fall soon. They're doing a bit more work topside. They can't take the keep down here, but they can at least damage it, so there's that. And as long as they can disengage, they're going to be fine. 4 kills to 3. The cats are fighting. They haven't taken a structure down yet, but they are fighting. They got their 3 kills, and they're doing the best they can. But the Hardos are just a little bit ahead here now. Just a bit out of reach. Just a tiny little bit. So, yeah. Boss is already about to be taken again. That could be an interesting battle now that both of the teams are level 16. Now, Hardos might just let this one go. I'm wondering if they're trying to commit here. Falstad is coming back in. Odin is up in 7 seconds. And yeah, they let the boss go. This is also going to be a little bit annoying. Not too much again. It's going to do some damage. It's not going to take it down. There's no catapults involved there. At least just yet. So yeah. And Nick is just zipping around the map and getting the damage in. Talking about damage, he's not the only one here. We have Muradin a little bit low, and they got to be very careful with Drak here too. So Tychus is sitting at 43,000 damage. Tracer is at 46k. And they are going for the boss again. And they're getting this bad boy pretty quickly. So it seems like once more the cats are just letting this one go. And they can't really afford to. That boss is now going to aim for the top keep. And this one is already exposed since the entire wall is gone. So if they can take a second keep down. And I mean, look what the Hardos are doing. They're simply moving to the bot lane for double boss play. They're going for the double boss play right now. And, I mean, for the cats, this is a bit of a disaster. Because the cats have to eventually go to the top lane and deal with that boss. It's a bit of an awkward one, honestly. Muradin is waiting there and checking things. But Nick starts the boss right when they see that everybody is defending the top. So the second they see this on the minimap, they go for the boss. For good reason. I mean, you remove the boss from the map, you put more pressure onto the bot lane, you have a chance to also take another tribute, and more importantly, deny it to your opponent so they can't threaten you with a curse. Benny gets this one pretty easily. This keep is already down to 50% HP. Channel is happening. And that's about as good as it gets for the time being. So even more pressure through the bot lane. Trying for level 20. Hardos are playing this a bit slow because they can. They are so far ahead in experience, why wouldn't they? It's more or less the best thing that they can do here. Just like try and play it slow, calm, and yeah, focused. Get all the camps that you can. Siege Giants, Bruisers. Take the boss, apply pressure, get a bit more experience, wait for level 20, and then you make your play with level 20. Nick kind of got caught here and is able to zip away from the Stormbolt. If they can kill Nick, that would of course been That would have been a very different situation. If you can get Nick in that moment, then yeah, then things change. But now there's another freebie, and with level 20, you should make a play for keep. Top keep is so low, you could literally just use the 5-man to go for the keep at the top side. Or try and force a battle down here. Tributors obviously being given up by the cats. I mean, what are they going to do? Fight against level 20? That's not going to happen. Rhaegar with the Ancestral upgrade, going to the Farseer's Blessing. They're trying, like, yeah, exactly. Without vision on the map, there's no way that they're moving out deep. Murel is jumping in, they're burning that one down. Yeah, this is exactly how this is gonna go. But good job by Dracula and the rest of the team that they realized right away that without vision they can't stand on lane, that they have to move past the gate and play this one safe. Or it could have been a total disaster. But it still is gonna be tricky, even with Odin now up. That's a push with level 20 talents straight through the bottom of the map. Now the Haka is at the top, desperately trying to get some extra experience for the cats to help them with a level 20. But yeah, they can steal the Siege Giants away now and then attempt to use them to drop the keep itself. And of course the Haka already realized that he's going to be in trouble if he overstays, so he went into the bush and just simply hearthed back. But now with the Siege Giants and the advantage, they're going to go for the keep. And that one is... it should fall. Especially with Sylvanas here too, you got the Siege Giants now as well. The gap is not really that big anymore though, so maybe they won't be able to get it. I mean, it's a 5-man defense now, and you have to be careful that nobody steps out too far, or they're gonna get punished. But I think they can save this one. Yeah. Good job. Nicely done by the cats. That was important. So, here's another curse, though. With that pressure applied, space was created for Hardos. And with that curse, the situation changes a little bit at the top. Now you can go a bit deeper on that keep without any problems. Yeah, another quick attack here. Okay, off we go. We got the big red button in. We got the wind tunnel. Rewind. Stormbolt. And the ult immediately getting popped. Like, absolutely no hesitation. Just uses it right away. Copenhagen is like, yeah, if I die, that's a problem. Like this, we can at least continue. The keep is gonna fall. They save Tracer. And this is not the only keep that's under pressure. At the bottom of the map, there's a minion wave that is now moving in, and they're gonna lose every single keep. So we're gonna get continuous catapult pressure on every single lane, because there's not a single fort that has been taken out by the cats. Not one. So once this keep is gone, there's catapults spawning on every wave for the Hardos and zero counter pressure. Absolutely none. Right now it looks like just a matter of time. They need a teamfight victory. It's the only thing that can bring you back. And instead it's a kill on Lucio that likely initiates the beginning of the end. Myrden is dead. That's 2 down. Menel'dor, he's at least getting the Tracer kill, so good for him. But he pays with his life for it. And now that Diablo is gone, yes, he'll be back, but of course, it's only the 2 damage dealers that are left here. All of the keeps are gone, and they can go for the core. The catapults will follow soon, and there is just no way of saving this one anymore. Drakia and Erath, they can try, but this is, yeah, that's a foregone conclusion at this point. Okay. That didn't really work out the way that they were hoping, so yeah, the debris didn't help, and now that Diablo makes the engage, the bird is down. 8 kills, 9 kills to 5. Core gets attacked, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the lead for the Hardos in this series. Nicely done and well played. GG, the red team with the victory on Cursed Hollow, map number 1 here at the group stage of the Masters Clash 2022. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Towers of Boom! Let's go! 1-0 for the Hardos. And after losing the first map, the cats decided that they want to have first pick and first ban, so therefore, obviously, map choice ended up in the hands of the Hardos, and they went for one of the favorites, Towers of Doom. Yeah, they didn't lose a single structure. It's a little bit weird. On the one hand, if you looked at the kill score for a long time, it seemed like the cats could kind of keep up But if you look at the map and the whole of it, then they just fell apart there. And the interesting thing about game number 1 is obviously, yes, Sylvanas with that side lane pressure is something to really consider and think about, but there was also a Falstad and Dehaka on the other side, and those two, while they were able to bring them some experience in when they were behind, it never really came to that moment when you said, okay, the blue team is totally dominating the macro and is controlling the lanes perfectly with their globals, and then joins the team fight. So yeah, that hasn't really worked out for them. So a double global attempt, not bearing fruit, but now that we're heading into Towers of Doom, Dehaka obviously is going to likely play a role here again unless he gets banned, and I think the same is going to be true for Falstad as well. We already have the quick ban on Blaze. Another map where we have seen Vikings from the Hardos. I mean, just saying. There's always, of course, like the hope that we're gonna get Vikings eventually, but this is another one where it could happen. So a little bit of Viking play from Hazo is definitely a possibility. And something that we have seen not only from the Hardos, interestingly enough. There's a couple of teams that actually went for Viking plays here now. But again, we're jumping ahead a bit. First we get our Lucio again. So since Captain Rex has the chance, he goes for him. So no Anduins in this series from him. And what are we getting for the Hardos? Brightwing. Do we even get a Dehaka maybe for the top lane? Gotta always think about your side laner here too. And Dehaka is of course one of the most impactful ones for that. Falstad right away. Okay, so they get the birdie. They got Falstad, they got Brightwing. That's a lot of globals immediately. I mean, if the Cats at this point really want to have a say in the battle for the side lanes, I guess we're gonna have them with the Dehaka pick. You have 2 globals on the other side. You need one for yourself. I guess technically you could also pick some of the alternatives. We talked about ETC with the stage dive a little bit and some of the other stuff. But yeah, there's the Dehaka pick. I mean, shocking, right? So yeah. Dehaka taken right away. That one was a must pick. And Johan's Garrosh gets banned once again. Also not a shocker. But still. Is Hazu really going to play Falstad, or are they going to swap things around a little bit? And also, what is Nick going to do, right? Nick is always a wildcard pick for them. The one that picks the Tracer, the Kerrigan, Maiev, or Genji. Yeah, Stitches is banned too. It's actually not bad, because with Stitches, honestly, if you get a good hook and Gorge, plus then Falstad with the Gust would be annoying. Brightwing could also go into an Emerald Wind and create even more space, isolate the target further. But they insta-pick Diablo, so they already had that one mapped out for themselves. But we still need the second pick now. Samuro! Yeah. Okay, here we go. That is wild. Samuro for the top lane. Now we're gonna have some fun. Could they pick Abathur here? I always want the Slug. I'm a Slug fan, but yeah, Samuro and Abathur is such an annoying combo. I just don't really see it. I don't really think so, but it would be funny. Mirrodin and Genji. So we got the Shimada brothers united. Hardos are one of these teams that sometimes just goes for these picks on the last slot that throw a total curveball and then they swap heroes. So I like that a lot, where they, you know, try and pick something with Hazu early, because oftentimes he's the one that is going to pick one of these wildcard picks and then suggest to the opponent, hey, he already has this hero, he's not going to do that. But yeah. They go Tracer. Tracer and Samuro. It's going to be an interesting one. Towers of Doom, everybody. So let's jump straight in. Map number 2 in the match between the Hardos and the 3-legged cat.
Heroes.
The Cats against the Hardos. Map number 2. Towers of Doom. Well, for the Cats, we get Draco Genji. We have Meneldur and Dehaka. Captain Rex is playing Lucio. Johan with Murden this time. And Hirath on Hanzo, coming in with a 3rd wind right away. On the right side of the map, the Hardos with Falstad played by Hazu Ops. We got Nick on Tracer for the 2nd game in a row. Rutsu on Brightwing. Bad Benny on Diablo, and Copenhagen is playing Samuro. Yeah, we got an actual Samuro game on our hands. Okay, so unfortunately no Abyssa, but that was always a wild hope and very unrealistic. Would have been cool though. But since this is a match with this best of two system, where every single map matters, you don't want to risk too much here. So they are going for the top lane Samuro, and that's going to be pretty interesting as well, as of course also a lot of mobility that we can bring in here. Definitely a little bit out of the box what they're doing, but I want to see how they can control this, and especially how Nick is now going to fare with his Tracer in the second game in a row. And he's already pressuring Menaldor again. Yeah, getting some damage in on the side lane, making it easier for Samuro to hold the lane. Obviously, with the globals, we have both teams with a few globals that you could use here. Now that the camps are up on the map, it's time to see if maybe somebody is willing to be aggressive around it. Talked about aggression. Hardos just flying straight on top of the two Overwatch heroes and trying to get some damage in. So, yeah, nice attempt. But it's obviously time to go for the pumpkins, and both of them just take their own camp. Not making any moves to try and steal the camp of the other team away. Sometimes we see that in the early game, and honestly, every time it happens, it immediately sets the pace for the rest of the game. Because if you win the play, you are heavily ahead. If you lose camp and heroes, then you are in trouble. And talking about losing heroes, Nick comes in and takes down Lucio. So off to a good start here with his second Tracer game. Nicely done. And that's pretty much exactly how you want this to go. Come in early, get the first kill here, make a play around that. Now, as you can see, we already have with level 4 here, tiny lead for them. Nothing crazy, but hey, as usual. If you can slowly but steadily build up on these small advantages, then eventually you're going to walk away with a talent lead. And that's pretty much all that you want here. And they're already taking some of the structures down at the bottom of the map, exposing the bell tower and having therefore a chance later on in the game to maybe convert that over. Bot lane on this map is the most important one because of the access to the bottom altar and also the pumpkin camps that move through the bot lane right away. So, yep, it's another one to really pay attention to. With the triple altar phase now coming up, that's the next important one, so you gotta now be real careful that you at least lock yourself to it. I mean, this has always been a comeback map, right? So if you, at the beginning of the game, maybe lose out on an altar, it usually doesn't play that big of a role since late game momentum is everything. But we've seen so many games where it hinges on 1 point or just 2 points on the core. So that early altar that you get here might make the difference in the long run between victory or loss. And they had to abandon this down here. Okay, so this is actually a bit tricky now, because the first altar has already been channeled, and for the cats, this is a bit annoying. Genji, yeah, Lucio is down, and up at the top, okay, Genji and Dehaka, they are making sure that they're at least getting one. So they're giving up the bot lane altar. They're just saying, okay, we don't care. So the first few shots come in over here on the right side, and by now we get 32 points to 36. Even more damage down at the bottom of the map. Even a big engage by Benny as he dives deep. And he's not the only one. Here comes the polymorph. Oh, boy. Insane engage by Bad Benny. Brightwing is immediately on him for the polymorph on Hanzo. And then Tracer follows up and gets the kill. And they get mirrored into. Mad momentum for the Hardos now. And that was nicely initiated. So they come in, they see an opportunity to dive in deep, get the kill on Hanzo. Mirrodin is then a bit alone and gets dropped too. That's 4 kills to 0. Early level 7, entire level lead. They convert over the bell tower after they just took 2 of the altars. Fantastic play. That is some sexy performance right here as they are starting to do work in this game. I mean, absolute work. Now, if they can also lock in the early level 10, which is pretty much what we are just waiting for here, you can imagine that this is going to potentially snowball even further. Get level 10, maybe get another bell tower conversion over, get at least a few of the camps, maybe take the boss. Oh, but Diablo dies. Okay, so they are starting to do some serious damage now as they're moving in for Diablo, taking him down, but Hanzo dies in the process. Now, I like that the cats are at least risking something and trying to get some kills and gain momentum in these fights. But obviously, an even trade in kills is not going to be enough to close that gap at any point in time. So that's going to be problematic. But what else can they now do here? We have, first of all, yeah, well, they get another camp. We have a double altar. No, Murden. Johan gets caught, and he's likely going to die here. Lucio's trying, but he can't keep him alive. There's the kill. Couple shots got fired. But it's again an exchange, and now they push through the bot. Oh, Jesus. 7 kills to 1. 5 minutes in. 5 shots get fired. 27 to 33. That's the situation right now. And with how heavily they are ahead, you don't even know what to do here. I mean, you don't even know what to do right now. It's kind of nasty. There's nothing to take. They escort the pumpkins in, and he goes for another potential kill. Just barely misses it. At least he got the pumpkins through. But without level 10, there's just nothing for the cats to do. They're just sitting there, taking the beating, and I mean, there's nothing else. Topside, the boss gets taken, but what are you going to do about it? Like nothing. You can't. There's nothing that you can do. So another 4 shots get fired, and that puts the core already down to 20 points against 33, and we've just reached the 6-minute mark. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's really crazy. So, yeah, things are looking grim. And how do you recover from that? You need to get level 10, and then with level 10, you need to step it up big time. Now, again, it's the comeback map in the game. No bigger comeback map in the entire game. So late game is everything. You can still recover, but given the situation that they find themselves in, this is of course not going to be easy. They need to stop that momentum that the Hardos are running on them now. If they can't do that, then yeah, there's just no way. But alright, time will tell. They got Haymaker, so they go for already a more aggressive variation with Meridian right now, taking a page out of Lauber's book, who absolutely loves the talent lately. Yeah, Samuro, are you going to try and make a play? No? Alright, Samuro is still fine here. But we got a double altar now coming up, and still that 5 versus 3 bell tower situation that we've been talking about earlier. But it's still an even exchange, or so? Yeah, okay. Heroes gets it. So 3 shots fired. They're diving in again. Level 13, any moment now. Any moment level 13 will be available for the Hardos, and already we see the cats move back. Yeah, bit of interrupt here on the channel on the right side, but eventually they have to let this one slide. Yeah, and there it is. Another 5 shots removed, or 5 points removed from the core of the cats. Bam. 15 to 30. Now we had closer games, but they need to stop the momentum. That train is running. And it's rough. Topside, Menaldor up against Copenhagen right now. Still at the bot lane. They're trying to retake the bell tower, obviously. But Nick is now sitting at the side and is trying to stop them. There's still a little bit of range poke that's coming. Problematic is also that Nick is just looking for an opportunity to jump in and take one of the squishies out, and with Brightwing being willing to teleport in at any moment in time. And Benny already sitting in the wings here, hoping for a good engage and maybe even an A-poke engage. This is going to be even more tricky. Yeah, Azu also ready right here. And, I mean, next one is a single altar at the bottom of the map. So if you still hold on to the bell tower, that's a freebie. Yeah. If you're still able to get that bottom bell tower, that's the only thing that you gotta do here. Hold on to the bell tower, get the easy access to the single altar, take another 5 shots off the core, push them down to 10 points. And, yep, there it is. Arrow, Muradin! Muradin is down. They tried for an arrow engage, that didn't work. 3 shots fired through the pumpkins. And now if you take the altar, it's single digits on the core. It is already single digits on the core. They got the rest of them also connected, so they're down to 9. 9 points on the core. And Brightwing is channeling. Guys, they're gonna be down to 4, which means a boss ends the game. Oh boy, 10 minutes in. And another kill. Dehaka is dead. 4 points in. When is the boss up again? I think it's still going to be another minute and a half or so. Yeah, minute and 10. Alright, so this is just nasty. Hardos are running a total train on them here. 24,000 by Nick. Murden got blown up 3 times already. Seems like we could be in for a quickie. The Hardos are definitely trying to cement their top position in the group and make sure that they're getting an early qualification for the Masters Clash. So, yep. 16 is on the board. Level 16 talents are ready for them. Yeah, still haven't given up on that bottom bell tower again. They still hold it. And the next... Oh, God. It's even worse. The next one is a triple altar phase. Guys, think about this for a second. Even if they reclaim that... This has to be game. Even if they reclaim the bottom bell tower, it's still going to be 4 bell towers to 4. So a single altar channel wins the game. A single altar channel wins the game. Out of 3. When was the last time you saw a game where the team that was a talent behind was able to win all 3 altars in the second rotation? I don't think there's a chance. They need to oh, well. That's one way to make it happen. Yeah, but then they lose Murden. So, I don't know. Channels are going to happen in a second. Alright, but we're going to take a quick look at this. Check this one out. Check the arrow out. Full-on arrow right here. Bam! Nick gets hit and zip! Eliminated. Deleted. But now we have Hazu with the channel. They need to interrupt him. They need to interrupt at the top. There's another quick kill against Hanzo. 1 Shimada is already down. Genji could try and avenge his brother here, but I don't know if he really can. So a couple of shots at least get fired. Yeah, 4 against 26. Still try to go for Genji. He comes in again. But he is going to die eventually. The entire family was wiped out by Bad Benny now. First they killed Hanzo, then they killed Genji. No Shimada and no hope. There's the kill. 13 kills to 2. Great play by the Hardos. They take the series with a 2-0.